What's going on, guys? It's me, the FPL Penguin. I hope you're all doing well. I'm back with another video for you all. Another video in the space of 5 days now, 6 days, nearly a week. But I'm back. It's a bit of a podcast, however you're going to call it. Just to express my thoughts on game week 1. Once again, Fantasy Premier League in a whole. I'm looking forward to it. As you may have seen, my draft teams 2 videos ago, may have seen, but I've completely changed it now. I'm not posting any more. I'm not posting any more drafts on my team. I might still change them. Some more players might be coming in, transfers, but I'm not posting it because I don't want to give too much away. Because there are about at least 6 players in this team now that weren't in any of those drafts that I put in my team. I'll give you a hint. One of them that I might have put in. If you watch my last video of the 5 good budget players, in my opinion, to bring in, I brought in one of those players. So just let you know, let you take a guess who I brought in. But plenty to talk about. Got some questions from some followers on Instagram, maybe Twitter as well. Some breaking news because I'm a Liverpool fan. There's some rumours of what was heard. I don't know where it's confirmed from, but a few Liverpool accounts have confirmed it. That I know you shouldn't confirm anything. Well, follow anything until it's confirmed by BBC or Sky Sports. But I will have a further look into it in a moment or two. That Pépé from Lille, the French team who we've been heavily linked with in the summer, attacking winger, plays for Ivory Coast. The African team has been linked with us. Heavily linked with us, and looks like it's going ahead according to the Lille owner, the president, or something like that. I'll have a read to you now about it. It says here that the Lille president has confirmed talks with Liverpool regarding the transfer of Pépé. If this is 100% true, I'm so looking forward to this because I do rate Pépé. I think he's a fantastic, skillful, very, very fast player. And I think if we have the likes of him, Shaq, Salah, Mane, also we've got Wilson as well, who could be sent alone again. I see him playing a big future, the young Welshman at Liverpool in the future, playing a big part. We've got Origi as well, who can play on the wing as well. Ox as well, he can play on the wing sometimes. So we've got plenty of attack. If we sign him, that'll be absolutely fantastic. And we really are boosting that attack a lot more now, and it's very great to see something like that in our team. Here are Pépé's stats. Look how fantastic they are for an attacking winger like him. In 38 league games for Lille last season, 22 goals and 11 assists. Wow, that is amazing. That is. I know Liga and the Premier League, completely different leagues. Premier League, arguably the best league in the world and the most competitive league. So it's a lot more tougher than the French league. But I think with the players, he'll be playing a much better team. He'll be playing with Liverpool that are a much better team than Lille. Much better players than Lille have as well. So I can imagine him thriving at Liverpool if he does sign. And he'd be a very good FPL asset as well, but depends if he'd start. I don't think he would. If we keep the likes of Mane and Salah on the wings as we've done for the last few seasons, I think he'd be on the bench with likes of Shaq. But that'd be good, you know what I mean? We'll have that depth, on the bench as well, to have that depth in the team. So, he could push for a start depending if Salah does get a bit sloppy in form, which I hope not. I hope he really does pick up his game this season, because last season, he played well, but he was nothing like the Salah in his first ever season for Liverpool. And, I hope he does turn it around this season and he becomes the Salah from 2 seasons ago, where he was unstoppable. So I'm really looking forward to transfer. I can imagine us forking out a lot, and I mean a lot of money for him. But it'd be worth it. If we paid 75 million for Virgil van Dijk, which I thought, Jesus, that's a hell of a lot of money. But look at that, he's proven us all wrong. 75 million, money well spent. He is a rock in that centre defensive partnership. with Matip or Gomez. He is absolutely fantastic. He's one of the key players. He's one of the reasons we won the Champions League last season. He scored, how many goals he scored last season? Was it four? 4 goals? 4 goals last season in the league. He's a fantastic player. Big, tall, Dutch international. He's amazing. Absolutely amazing. He really is. So, I'll be looking forward to that, like I Pépé. We signed a young lad from Danish team? Or was it in Sweden? Norway? Probably Norway. I don't know. But he was 17 years of age. One for the future, see how he does. I don't know anything about him. And I'm sure you guys don't know anything about him unless you're from his country and you follow that league. I've never heard of him. But I watched the video on YouTube. And he's very good. Some good clips of him. You know what I mean? His tackles and marking and stuff. So it could be good, but he obviously won't. Obviously, he won't break in the first team just yet. But give him another 6 years, something like that, 5-6 years. Put him in the reserves, get some good training, probably loan him out, and see how he does. I would have probably loaned him back to his club, give him a bit more experience, or probably loaned to a championship club. That's quite still competitive, and hopefully get some gains with a club in there. That's what I would do if I was Jurgen Klopp. But we're talking about Liverpool. Let's talk about Fantasy Premier League more. I've got some questions. One from Nath. He's an Instagram follower. He sent me 2 questions. One of them being, who's the better choice, Fraser or Brooks? Well, Brooks is 6.5 million and Fraser is 1 million more, which is 7.5 million. Fraser did better than Brooks last season. If you wanted to, they're still both good players and they're both regular starters. Well, Fraser is. If you couldn't afford Fraser and you want that Bournemouth, go for Brooks. But if I had to be honest with you, and I'm giving another one away as well, I've picked Fraser in my team. I feel like he offers more, as you may have seen from his stats last season. And I think Brooks, I think he'd be a very good player. He's got a huge future ahead of him. I think I can see him at a big Premier League club sometime in the future. But Fraser, I've gone for. I think he's just amazing. Fraser, I think he'll stay. He's been linked. Was it Arsenal? He was linked with recently. I think he'll stay. I think Wilson will leave, probably go West Ham now that Arnautovic definitely wants out. He wants to go to China, so I think Callum Wilson will be going to West Ham. Will Fraser follow him out? Not follow him to West Ham, but will he follow him, to leave Bournemouth? That's a tough one, That's a tough one. I think Fraser will stay. This coming season. Depends with January transfer window as well, but I think he'll stay this season. But I think the only big Bournemouth player I can see leaving Bournemouth this summer is Callum Wilson. Now that Arnautovic gone, they'll need another striker. They'll need a top young fast striker, and they've been heavily linked with Wilson, West Ham. So I have to see him going for Wilson. So to answer the question, I'd say, you could go for Brooks if you're struggling to get that, with the 100 million that you're only given. But I'm going for Fraser. I think Fraser's the best bet. I think he offers more. I think he, assist-wise and everything, and he can score as well. I think he offers more, and he pushes himself forward more in the game. I think go for Fraser. Another question from Nath. Who would be like the centre-back pairing for Sheffield United? Well, Sheffield United are playing last season they were playing a back three, so hardly any full backs, unless they were pushing them full backs up. But as I was looking, they mostly was just like 3 at the back, so they could have been playing 5 at the back with the 2 full backs and the 3 centre backs. But I was looking at it from lineups from what I saw, 3 centre backs from Egan, O'Connell and Basham. They were the 3 centre backs who were playing regular games and played the most. I looked on the stats for Sheffield United last season in the league. I looked at the stats as well, because you talk about Jagielka He's just recently signed from his boyhood club he used to play before he signed for Everton. He's 35, 36 now, but got huge experience that'll help Sheffield United. I do rate him as a good player, and I think he'll definitely start. And I also think O'Connell and Basham will start. And the reason why I think O'Connell and Basham will start and not Egan or Egan, however you pronounce his name, is because O'Connell has scored 3 goals and done 3 assists, and Basham scored 4 goals and done 1 assist. And done much better than Egan or Egan. I'm probably messing up his name again. And I'd go for them. Back 3, I'd go for Jagielka, O'Connell and Basham in that back 3. I think that's a good pairing. They can score goals, if you're looking for set pieces. And Jagielka can score goals as well. He can score. I'm sure he scored when I went to the Merseyside derby, Liverpool v Everton. I'm sure he scored some kind of thunderbolt against us. I don't know, at Anfield years ago. I don't know. I can't remember. I think it was him. I'm sure, but I think that would be the back 3: Jagielka, Basham, and O'Connell in the back 3 regular starters in that back 3 for Sheffield United next season. I really do hope they stay up. And I think they got a good team. I think Villa stay up as well. But I think Norwich could struggle and go down. I think Brighton will struggle as well. I think Burnley will struggle. And depends. If Crystal Palace lose Zaha, I do think they could go down as well. Because they got no Batshuayi. Chelsea look like they're going to keep him. I really do see Palace struggling. When they've lost Bissaka to United, and now if they lose Zaha, now it depends. If you add the 50-odd million and how much they'll get for Zaha, 70-odd million, together you got well over 100 million, something like that. They could get a good right back, class right back, very good striker. It depends. They still got some good players, but if they lose Zaha as well, I just think Palace are doomed. In the Premier League, I think they're going down. I really do think Palace could go down. I don't think definite, but I think they could go down. They'll be fighting for survival next season. If they lose Zaha, they'll be fighting for survival this coming season, I do think. Next question comes from FPL Football Advice, and his question is, does Perez provide more value than Maddison? Depends how Perez does. Recently signed, was it 30 million? That's what I'm hearing from Newcastle. I was surprised about that move. I really was. I think he's a very, very good player, Perez. And I think he's a very good player. And I think he will do very, very, very well. If they keep Maguire, Leicester, if they keep Harry Maguire in that defence, they've signed Tielemans, re-signed him. They had him on loan last season from Monaco, and it's been confirmed they've signed him on a permanent deal. So they've got him now. They are going to really, really do well next season, I think, Leicester. You've got Jamie Vardy, you've got Albrighton, you've got Gray, you've got so many good players. Tielemans, you've got so many good players. And the main thing is, if they have to keep Maguire. They have to keep Maguire in that defence, because he's like their rock, and they need to keep him. They really do. I think Perez will do very well. It depends, because if he's been told he's a forward, but on FPL he's a midfielder. So it depends. Will he play just behind Vardy? Because the most have been playing one up front, Leicester. One up front. Will they have... I don't think they'll have him replace Vardy up front. Could they have him behind? Could they have him on the bench? Could they have him on the wing? Something like that. He can play up front as well, where Vardy is, if he wants to come off the bench. Something like that. So either way, in a cam role, on the left or right, attacking wing, or as a striker, I think he'll thrive at Leicester. I really, really do. And does he offer more value than Maddison? Maddison's a very good player. I think he can do probably... I think it's hard to say. As I told FPL Football Advice, I think it's hard to say, because you have to look at the friendlies. Look at the friendlies, wait to the friendlies and see how they do the smoking friendlies and how Perez does, and see if he really adapts being in that Leicester team. You know, it's like with Che Adams, see how he does as well, and the other new players, and Wesley as well for Aston Villa. See how they do, how they adapt to their new teams. It's a good chance to assess them before the new season starts and make you think, yeah, I'm going to pick that player. Oh, it's not a good idea. So the friendlies are always a good idea. Keep up to them, keep up with them, and see how they do, if they score the assists and how well they do, and we'll get a pretty good idea if we want them on our teams or not. The next question comes from FPL Canada, and he's thinking of playing his triple captain chip in the first game week of the new season. He says, get your nose in front and stay there strategy, or if it fails, be super concentrated to regain momentum. Right, thank you so much for your question, FPL Canada. To answer that question, I would not risk, even though if it means like jumping ahead, the bad case is it might fail. It might fail. And, you know, to be honest with you, I've always been that type of guy as well, to start playing my triple captain chip quite early in the season, probably around September, October. If I see a really good fixture, like if it's an Aguero at home against Brighton, something like that, and he's on red hot form. And, you know, it's always worked out for me if he's scored, say, a goal, something like that, but I wouldn't risk it. As other FPL accounts have mentioned to me, wait and be patient with it. Wait till near the end of the season when there's double game weeks happening, because we know what FA Cups and League Cups and other Premier League fixtures teams won't be playing because they've got those cup fixtures. So around March, April, getting May time, something like that, March, April, something like that, when there's double game weeks happening, and some games probably might be called off with bad weather, snow here in the UK sometimes, or rain as well, heavy rain in the winter time. Just wait, and then you get the double game weeks. So say then City have got 2 game weeks, or in 2 fixtures in 1 game week, and Liverpool have something like that maybe, and it's Mane who's on red hot form, and you can triple captain him. Say if he's playing against Norwich and then probably Villa, something like that, or Brighton or Crystal Palace, then, you know, go for it. So wait, don't play just yet. Play your triple captain, be patient with it like myself, and wait for those double game weeks later in the season. And I'm sure it definitely will be worth it in the end. It will be worth it playing them triple captain and hopefully getting the big points for you and your team. So I'm going to finish the video there, guys. Thank you so much for your questions. Thanks so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Please subscribe. I've been the FPL Penguin. See you later, guys.